corporations that will get this tax exemption. For that reason, Mr. Speaker, for fairness, I hope that we will reject this bill. Thank you.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm speaking to the bill.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me start by disassociating myself. I've never paid that much. I mean, I get my coffee at 7-Eleven or at home, but now back to the bill. I have heard repeatedly the $800 figure that the teacher married to the firefighter is going to get from this bill. Now, the only way that you're going to get $800 from this bill is if you have over $14,000 in deductions, which means you're living in a house way on the high end. Because don't forget, the Trump tax cuts took away any of the deductions that you had been taking if you had a summer job trying to make ends meet. And now you had some employee business expenses. Those are gone. When I first started down this path decades ago as a citizen, I ran into a phrase that talked about taxes and the convenience of hiding behind the skirts of selected widows and orphans as you try to move your advantage around. Don't look behind the curtain. This bill has been addressed that we're going to give help through the standard deduction all the way down the income levels, but it didn't say how much help. It didn't address the fact that these are the people that are paying the most in the increase, and yet we're giving them the crumbs that trickle down after we concentrate the money that goes out in this bill at the high end. In fact, at people who aren't even experiencing an increase will get the frosting from the cake. Well, there's no cake for the under 50,000 to be eating. It's crumbs. It's not a matter of, well, let them eat cake. And let me address that 50,000. I have always regarded myself as being incredibly fortunate that I was raised in a rural area to be here in this body representing Northern Virginia, because somehow there's always those voices in the back of my mind. There's the voices of one of my best friends, Mary DeLeon. They lived in a cinder block house. They raised pigs in the back, and they got from the hotels. You could often see silverware because they dropped off the trash for the pigs. 4 girls, 2 boys, 4 girls in one bedroom, 2 boys in another bedroom. The father worked for Goodwill. The father worked hard, and they made it happen. And Mary today is doing very well. But those are the kind of working families. Everyone we're talking about in this tax bill is a working family. Just like my sister, who, I'm going to be honest, her daughter ended up in jail, in prison, because of drug abuse. So there's my sister trying to raise 2 grandsons. These are working families. And I'm going to talk about my niece who drives all throughout Pennsylvania from one place to another as a home health care worker. And the tax Trump bill has stripped away those expenses that she has to do out of pocket to get from one place to the other, because the agency that she works for doesn't cover employee business expenses. And under the Trump plan, they are no longer deductible. It is a curtain that we're not supposed to look behind when you say that somehow that teacher and a firefighter are going to benefit, going to get $800 from this. No way that these working people are going to get the kind of money that is being represented. It's a switch, it's a bait and switch, and it is not addressing the actual places where the priorities of this bill are directing the funds to the upper income, and just the crumbs are trickling down to those at the lower levels who are, in fact, under the Trump changes, paying the highest increase in their taxes. I sincerely hope that we will vote against this bill before us.
Delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Vivian.
Mr. Speaker, speaking to the bill.
Delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, this bill gives millions of dollars to those that have